I'm Ben.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sorry says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsorry@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in a Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VinandSorry. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a face, it's for you.
You start off at $1. Plus you get exclusives. Sorry and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed, a child shall lead them. Partner in crime, partner in criminality.
So we are doing a song for the big homie Mind Sanity, who's off doing some interesting work somewhere.
Who is doing insane work.
Yes.
Got it? His name is My Insanity, so we're saying he's doing insane work.
Okay.
One day, dear listener, you can be as brilliant as Vincent. But that day is not today.
No, so sorry.
Okay.
The name of the band is Sold Soul, and the name of the song is A Voyage Through the River Styx.
A Voyage Through the River Styx. So, are they a black metal band, these guys?
That is my guess.
Is that what he said?
Because of the way that the band is written, their name.
The logo
on
thingamajig?
On the album, yeah. It looks like black metalish, but I don't know.
We don't know.
It starts out, Wicked One, so.
Inshallah.
Probably.
All right, Voyage Through the River Styx. Let's go.
I find a trance
The wrong lyrics?
No, it's the right lyrics.
I was able, like the first two stanzas,
Trying
I
to
was able to follow perfectly.
Yeah.
And then I lost it, and I never could get back to
Yeah, I agree. I did kind of lose track of what the hell was going on with the lyrics.
Completely lost. And I was like trying to find it again, but then I was getting too distracted by trying to find it again. I said I have to just give it up.
Looks like they have a lot of. Is it one guy?
I thought it was two. But I mean,
We'd
I guess
like
it could
to
be
give
one
thanks.
guy with two voices.
Either way, there was at least a guest appearance from I guess a guy named Nico Apostakalis of Until We Die. So who knows?
Oh.
Speaking of Until We Die, that's the design back there. That's the Until We Die shirt design, right?
Nice. Isn't that cool?
That's pretty badass, if I must say
One of
so
our villagers
myself.
created it.
Shout out to the big homie.
Okay, so I liked the way that it was like forceful in its sound.
100%. There's no guesswork.
Well, like sometimes like black metal kind of makes you feel like it sort of has like this depressed feel to it.
Yeah.
But this one felt like you have no time for depression because I am going to assault you.
I don't think this was black metal. It sounds more like Black and Death.
Oh, okay. I wish it would say.
Sounds like Black and
what
Death
type
metalcore.
it is.
Blackened metal deathcore.
Look,
Blackened metal
does this mean
deathcore.
that they tagged it under rock?
I mean, I don't think they. I mean, that's
No, I mean Genius did. That's what Genius did.
Yeah,
They didn't listen to the song.
What does Genius know about it?
What a bunch of dummies.
Bunch of idiots.
All right.
I think they're dumb.
So I liked the sound of it. Even his vocal style the first time. Then it switched and became something else. I was more of a fan of the first vocal style than the second.
Yeah, it seemed the second
The
kind
drums
of
were really
vocal
aggressive.
style seemed really mega distorted to the point where you really couldn't.
But didn't it kind of remind you of Danny Filth a little bit?
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the pig
Yeah.
squeal. I think is what it's called. No, literally, it's what it's called. The pig squeal. It's a technique.
Oh man. I remember I was talking with your ex one time, and you guys were still together, and I asked her, something came up about like music or something like that, and she was like, I don't know, something about a band or something, and she said that she did screaming vocals,
Yeah.
and I'd never heard of that, and I was like, wait, what? And she said, yeah, like, I can't remember how she worded it, but like I understood that it was like a very aggressive, like screaming, yelling.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'd never heard of such a thing. I had no idea, but she was always like so outside of the box. I was like, yo, she probably just made that up. It would figure she'd be the one that would want to be doing that.
Yeah, that was when we were in our band for 2 seconds, and
Yeah.
then the highest talent in our band, the drummer, became a missionary in China or something.
And that was it. That was all we wrote.
Found himself a girl, cut his hair, and that was that.
Oh, listen. We have our chirping fire.
Oh, that's a
thing
blast
again.
from the past.
Yes,
The
you
OGs,
guys,
the
we know that
OGs.
we know we need to change the
The
background.
OGs will love that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one was pretty straightforward, like, I am selling my soul to the devil type shit, which
Yeah.
kind of makes sense with the,
Bring forth the exodus of holiness.
yeah, the
What makes
exodus
sense,
of,
what?
well, I mean, the thing is, the band's name is literally called Sold Soul, so it would follow that they're completely sold out to the devil. Shaitana. Okay, so go ahead. What was the first verse? Oh, wicked one, I
wicked
pledge
one,
my
yeah.
soul to thee. Devoid of transient God prophecies, absent are the chains of hypocrisy. My gaze cast at the river flowing before me.
What is the river Styx? I can't remember what it is.
That's the
in
river
there.
where you. That's
Is
the.
that like death?
Yeah, you cross
have to
over.
pay the coins.
Yeah.
go over there?
Yeah. Yeah. So.
So is the idea that if you sell your soul, like you're still alive, but your soul's gone, right?
Well, when you die, then the devil gets to take
He
your soul
owns
for forever.
Oh, so you still have your soul here. You're just gonna lose it when you die?
Yeah, I think that's the exchange.
See, I thought that when you sold your soul, yeah, when you died, it was gonna go there. But also in this life, there's a sort of emptiness that you would have at the same time. because you don't have your soul anymore.
Well, we're saying that because we're Christians. But
no, that's just what I thought. Well, I mean, no, I'm not saying that because I'm a Christian. I'm just saying that because I don't believe that anybody can sell their soul to the devil. Well, that's
you don't believe anybody can sell their soul to the devil.
Wow, it's a little bit more complicated, I think. As like how it's portrayed, where like somebody wants a musical career and then they sell their soul to the devil. Like, I don't know about that. You believe that? And you can't get it back once you sell it. Like that's.
Well, I think selling your soul looks a lot more like this than the Mistopheles, the kind of like, oh, I want to your point, I want a record deal, so I'm gonna sell my soul to the devil. Like from a biblical Christian worldview, this kind of selling, where Paul talks about he's completely sold under sin, is not a financial transaction. It's more of a state of being. It's a state of the heart. So like, for example, in Christian parlance, we say that guy's a real sold out Christian. It means they have no reservations whatsoever. They've completely,
given themselves over to the divine.
Given themselves over to God. So you go, oh, that guy's really sold out. So here he's saying, oh, wicked one, I pledge my soul. And he's saying, absent are the claims of hypocrisy, my gaze cast at the river flowing before me. No dogma, no Lord to write thine script. Enlightenment, my unholy temptress. Winds of death blow and kiss my lips. Bring forth the exodus of holiness. I don't know if that's Satan responding to him, saying there's no dogma, there's no Lord to write your script.
Oh.
Enlightenment, my unholy temptress, because there's a lot of people that think that, God wants to keep people ignorant, and Satan's job is to make people, give people knowledge, because of the whole situation at the garden, knowledge of good and evil situation.
Yeah.
But it wasn't knowledge proper. It wasn't the concept of knowledge itself that the devil gave to our first parents. Like, people oh, it's right there. God wanted to stop knowledge. Like, right. No, it was specifically knowledge of good. It was a specific kind of knowledge and a specific means of acquiring said knowledge. Every parent knows that there is general knowledge that you celebrate your kids having. The ability to talk, the ability to walk, the ability to self-care. And there are other forms of knowledge that you know that your child is not ready for at that given time. And that kind of knowledge you are going to give them as they mature, because they cannot handle it. And so the ability to determine good and evil for ourselves outside of God's decree, again, from a Christian worldview, is what leads to all the destruction that we have. I mean, this is what's going on right now.
What do you mean?
Well, you have one group of people that say, oh, the right thing to do is pile up a nation with all these weapons and shit like that and bring them to the border of another nation. That's the right thing to do. Then you got another nation that says, oh, the right response to that is to go in there and kill a bunch of people. Right? And so now you've got, and look, the thing that's fascinating to me about human nature is that, for the most part, common people can be convinced to do all sorts of atrocities or support all sorts of atrocities while simultaneously believing that they're good while doing
absolutely. It. Yeah, absolutely.
Like I was just looking at a guy's Facebook a couple weeks ago. He really thinks he's a good guy, and he was celebrating that the Russian currency is down to like a penny now. And it's like, he really truly believes he's a good guy. And of course, it's an absolutely horrific thing to be happy about that, because that's going to hurt Russian civilians. It's not going to hurt all the oligarchs who make those decisions.
Yep.
It's going to hurt regular people. Meanwhile, he's also complaining about, $5 for gas. So it's this weird. So that's what I'm saying. Like the when human beings truly believe that they can determine good and evil for themselves, and it's their side is always good, and the other side is always evil,
wildly convenient.
It's mind-boggling to me. It's like, that doesn't seem a little bit convenient to you? Okay, all right, let's keep it moving. So he's saying, no dogma, no Lord to write your script, enlightenment, my unholy temptress. So it's this idea that
yeah, he's letting all the holiness is leaving, and he's getting overtaken. But at the same time, it's very interesting. No Lord to write thine script. Maybe he's saying that because people look at Christians generally that like we're told what to do all the time.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's what they mean. Like, but you're gonna be governed by something. You're gonna be either governed by something outside of yourself or something inside of yourself. And that's it. Like you're gonna have to decide. And if you're governed by something inside of yourself, namely yourself, then you're gonna be governed by your desires, which can lead you to all kinds of craziness, because our desires, if they're not placed rightly, I mean, we've all seen it's so interesting. I was watching this thing with the kids about lying, and it's one of those like brain teaser things, and they were like, basically they were saying like people have always been trying to find out whether or not like a baby is like a liar from the beginning or not, and they were like basically saying like it really like seems like it is, and then they said like a baby from the age of even as early as 6 months will cry not because they're hungry. They will act like they're hungry, but they really want to be held, so they'll act like they're hungry and deceive the parent into picking them up, but
right.
That's what they really want. But I mean, I don't know, how else is the baby supposed to communicate? But I do think, like, he was saying that within the first 5 minutes of talking to somebody, the person has already lied to you 3 times. That people just lie on instinct. They not like, it doesn't necessarily mean like you said like a complete straight out lie, but you like fabricate, things get changed. Like he said, how tall are you? What was your high school GPA? And one other thing. And like most people in those 3 questions don't say the actual truth. They kind of like inflate their answers a little bit.
Right. So they're gonna estimate higher instead of estimate lower. So your GPA instead of your GPA was really 2.9. They're gonna say, I don't know, probably like 3.3.
Yeah. But then he said,
but the motivation underneath that is to make themselves look better than they really were.
Well, no, the weird thing is, he said that a lot of the people that do that, there's no tells that they're lying because they have believed it for so long. But when they're really questioned on it, they're like, actually, like for instance, if somebody says, how tall are you? I say 5'7". I'm technically 5 feet 6 inches and 3/4. I'm not 5'7".
Yeah, but that's 5'7" though. Like if I put that in Excel's going to estimate up to 5'7".
Yeah, but he's saying but why not in? Well, I see what you're saying. Like it's so.
It's
close.
inconvenient.
It's like,
What are you gonna say? I'm 5'6" and 3/4. Like,
I literally used to say that because I was trying to be so, but then it was just obnoxious. I felt like I was like, I'm 13 and a half.
Isn't what lying? Lying is purposely attempting to distort reality to lead someone to believe something else. So if you put lying that way, then the little baby is lying. But of course the response to that would be, but he's got no other choice because he doesn't know how to communicate yet. Mm-hmm. Right? So we kind of waive that.
Right.
We kind of reduce the moral sort of implications of that because we say, well, a child has no other option. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things where, like, if a hungry kid steals bread, is it really thievery, right? Mm-hmm. So, but the scripture also says the wicked come forth from the womb speaking lies. Yeah. And of course, everybody's born wicked from a Christian worldview. So it's basically saying all of you are born with which valid. So the scripture's validated.
They had like these 3 kids, and they put the big cake, and they tell them don't touch it, don't whatever, and like there was 4 kids, 3 of them were boys, and 1 was a girl. All 3 boys
100%.
took a little taste and lied.
Yeah.
And the little girl was the only one. She was like, she like did this like fake like she was eating it, and then she sat back.
Oh, and she didn't do it.
No, she didn't. She's the only one that didn't. All the other ones did.
Yeah, girls, they're just self-control is much. Was the girl around the same age or a little bit older?
All the same age.
All the same age.
They were all the same age. But it was funny because when the kids would lie, instead of them they were like, and instead of writing liar, they would put fibber. They don't want to make it so
They
bad.
don't want to make it bad. See, I've seen, those memes, oh, if we had women in office, then we wouldn't be in this situation, which I don't think is completely true. But I do think girls generally have more self-control than boys do. And I don't know if that's a socialization thing or a biological thing. Maybe it's an evolutionary thing where it's like, well, we had to be a lot more aggressive because we were out there chasing the wildebeest and, kicking ass and all that shit and having to figure out how to kill these lions and shit. So we have to be more aggressive. So maybe it's a epigenetic type of situation.
Yeah,
or if it's just, we socialize girls to be less aggressive, which then translates into them being more disciplined. But
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm a big fan of I'm really starting to think like, damn, like I wish we had some real, especially in America, like female counterparts in the decision-making aspects of certain, like Tulsi, for example. Like I feel like we'd be in so many few wars if Tulsi was had some real serious power 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's very, very interesting. But forked tongues caress my face. Hardened will carries me through this river. Gone the imprinted fear of damnation. Reversed my birth-given orientation.
Oh, okay. He repeats it again.
Mercy on my soul, for it now belongs to me.
Did you see this one? Obsidian eyes, charcoal skin.
Yeah, he's this guy can write.
That was really.
But
I really wanted to hear that part. I couldn't find it when he said it though.
Well, yeah, they like that's what I'm saying. Like they mega distorted the vocals on certain parts, and I think that's like when, I don't know, but that's like, this is a guy. It seems like he's got a lot of oppressive religion in his background.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Like gone the imprinted fear of damnation. Like having hell, fire, and brimstone being the motivation for why you do what you do is, I think it's unsustainable. I think fear is unsustainable to really drive the car in any long-term basis. Obviously, my counter to that is obviously love, and the scripture tells us, perfect love casts out fear. There's no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear, because fear has to do with torment, and the one who fears hasn't been perfected in love. So it's a very, and I it depends on what religious tradition you come from, but and a lot of it has to do with your education too, because especially based on my readings, a lot of the times when Jesus was talking about hell, he wasn't talking about hell at all. He was actually telling people to avoid war, which is very fascinating. Yeah. And he was telling them of the results of what would happen if they did not avoid war. Right. So that is a really interesting take when you look at the New Testament again, with those kinds of eyes. But it seems like Western evangelicals are kind of obsessed with hell and hellfire.
I can't remember what year that became an obsession. I remember reading about it, and I can't remember now.
Well, I mean, you had Jonathan Edwards during the entire, the revivals, or the Great Awakening, as it were, which was really
it was before that, because
he came out with the sinners in the hands of an angry God stuff.
Yeah, but
and people were terrified.
Prior to that, you had, what was his name, Tilton, that would go around talking about the fires. I guess that was
Tilton. I think Edwards predated Tilton.
Really?
Yeah.
The Catholic Church, when they were going around and the guy would do those things.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's 1500. That's purgatory. Yeah.
Right.
That's fires of purgatory.
I feel like it's kind of the same. I understand that purgatory and hell are not the same thing, but they function the same way. People used it the same way.
Well,
as a motivator to get people to do what they believe they should be doing.
Yeah, experientially, especially in old school Catholicism, there was no real difference between purgatory and hell, other than you escaped.
Right.
At some point in Shala.
Yeah.
So I agree. Like, fear can function, but what ended up happening? What ended up happening was a Protestant Reformation. There was a real visceral reaction against that kind of fear mongering and bondage.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah, that entire thing, that was one of the things that sparked the Protestant Reformation.
Huh.
So, that's what I'm saying. Like, fear can never drive the car. Like, it's one of those things where it'll give it a turbo boost. Like, if you have little shots of fear, will get you a given result. But human beings are not designed to run on fear. So you're always going to get an equal and opposite negative reaction.
Yeah.
Fear is will get you quick results and will destroy you long term. Love will get you positive result long term, but it's very hard to cultivate at the beginning. And there's a lot of trust and there's a lot of patience that you need with love to get the car to where you want it to go. And to me, ultimately, fear mongering in parenting or in anything else is just about laziness. You don't want to invest the time. You don't want to invest the effort and the patience. You don't want to deal with the frustration of having to, so you want fear. You want to use fear because it's going to get you from A to B. The problem is it's also going to create situations where people go, man, fuck this shit. I've never heard, R and Ra, when we had the conversation, shout out to R and Ra. I've never heard, but aside from R and Ra, I've never heard of anybody say,
that conversation's up on our channel, by the way. Just search R and Ra.
I've never heard anybody say, man, fuck Jesus. Who cares about it? I've never really heard that.
Yeah.
Most people are like, yeah, Jesus is okay.
Yeah.
But fuck you, God. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Yeah.
I understand, like, that if you're constantly pouring fear into the souls of your children and, or your congregants or your country, because there's a lot of fear of one particular country, right? People are terrified of these people. You can't sustain that. There's going to be some horrible sort of reaction because people are going to ventilate that, or they're going to try to deaden themselves to not feel it anymore.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's true. Like, if you think about, really, I mean, think of in America, and somebody is invading your home. Now, immediately when you think that, you feel like fearful. Okay, so somebody's in your house and they're not supposed to be there. A lot of people get fearful that the first thought is, I need a weapon, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Then you flip the story and you say, okay, your kid just invaded someone's house.
Right.
Well, now you love that kid, so now the instinct isn't grab the gun. It's to, okay, how can we get out of this situation without somebody dying?
Right.
So love, motivating rather than fear, keeps people alive, and it just creates a better world. But I think that a lot of us we just live on fear, and we've lived on fear for so long that it's hard to retrain your mind elsewhere. But I think that you're right. I think that the only way to do that is to increase the love. But then, the question is how? How do we increase the love when we feel so fearful all the time?
I think fear and hate, dislike, whatever, is our default because we're born that way. And so, the same way that speaking is a habituated skill set and walking is a habituated skill set, but it starts with the kid babbling. And then the kid saying one-word phrases, and now, Orion came to me and says, Dad, I'm going outside. I said, you are? He says, I'm going outside. I said, all right, give me a hug, he said. And off he went. And I think that that's how it is. And it's kind of like having kids. I wish everybody could have kids because there's so many lessons that you learn. But one of them was like,
you learn a lot more lessons before you have.
We taught him to say I love you. Say I love you. And initially, when he first learned that phrase, I knew that he didn't really know what he was saying. And now, the older he grows, he knows now what he's saying to a degree. And so do I.
Well, yeah,
to a degree.
Orion said, I love you. He goes, I love you too. And he looked at him, he goes, I do.
Right.
So it's like, okay, he's getting it a little bit.
Yeah, and he's letting you know I'm not just saying it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's how it works. I think sometimes you have to use phrases, maybe even as at the real practical level, using certain phrases where you're like, yo, I don't mean that yet, but my intention is to grow in that because I'm a child in this. And I think that And that's where I see a lot of utility in sometimes memorized prayers and things like that, where people go, well, that didn't come from me, it didn't come from my heart, so it's not valid. Yeah, but you can grow into it. You know, forgive our trespasses as we can forgive those who trespass against us, for example. Well, that assumes that you've forgiven those who trespass against you. But there's been literally millions of times where that prayer has been repeated, where we haven't forgiven the person. Yeah. But the more you actually do it, the verbiage creates the reality, actually. So I think that the more and more that you repeat those things, and you know, it doesn't matter what religious tradition you come from. Obviously, I'm a Christian, so I think we can retrain our minds to be more loving people, and then the other thing is we should just expect people to disappoint us. You should expect people to fail you, and if you do, then when they do, then you'll have a lot. You'll be ready to be able to absorb that shock, so that you can be able to respond in a loving way. But if you expect people to have all these to live up to these crazy standards that you yourself couldn't live up to, then you're gonna manifest a lot of hatred. What'd you get the song?
8.2.
8.8. It would have went into the 9 category, but the folks were a little bit too distorted for me, and I really would have liked to have heard what was being said on a more legible basis, because I think lyrically they were onto something pretty good there lyrically. There you are, dear listener. Having said that, Finn out.
Sorry out.
Gone.